All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to day 2 of Cosmic Codes. Learn astrology with Trina. And yesterday, as a recap, we learned about these planets in your chart. 5 of the 10 planets we were working with here. We worked with the sun. So, first of all, the sun is your zodiac sign, right? I'm an Aquarius. Lucille's a Libra. Juanita's a Pisces. And so, just as a quick recap, these planets are the actors on the cosmic stage. So we talked about the sun, which was your identity, your purpose, your expression of yourself, how you shine. We talked about, oh, and how to find the sun in your chart. We learned how to print out your chart and generate your chart and print it out and then find that sun in your chart. So that's an example there, the sun in Aquarius, for example. And then what else did we do? We learned about the moon, which is our internal feelings and our intuition and our body and how we nurture ourselves, how we feel emotionally safe. And we learned about Mercury, the planet of communications, how we talk, how someone likes to communicate, how we think and learn. And we also learned about Venus, how we love, how we do in relationships, and kind of what we are attracted to as well. And we learned about Mars. This is our action energy. Wherever our Mars is, that's where we're really passionate about it. We're passionate about something. We're taking action with that Mars. So that's what kind of the recap we learned. We also learned about Aries to Pisces. These are the clothes that these planets wear. So we learned some keywords here. You could screenshot this screen as well. Some keywords for each zodiac sign, for each wardrobe change that the planets make, right? So those were some keywords we learned. For example, the Libra sun for Lucille, she likes harmony, fairness. She's diplomatic, charming, creates beauty in life. And then for Juanita, she was a Pisces. So she's compassionate and there's dreamy and spirituality, very intuitive. Could be some film, music, or art in there as well. We talked about, me, Aquarius. I'm an Aquarius person, so I'm inventive, friendly, humanitarian, and a little bit of hippy dippy vibe. So we learned a little bit about, the clothes that those planets wear, and that's kind of the recap. But today we're learning about the extra layer, the stage that so if the planets are the actors and those zodiac signs, Aries to Pisces, are the costumes, then the houses are the stages that they perform on. So each pie slice of the zodiac wheel represents a different area of your life. Everything from your identity to your best careers, to how you do relationships, to spirituality, all sorts of little pieces of the pie. And that's what we're going to talk about today, the houses. So this one's a good one to screenshot and save. These are the 12 houses in the zodiac wheel. These are 12 life areas. We start with 1, which is on the left side of the wheel. It's where the 9 o'clock position on a clock would be. That's your first house, number 1. That's yourself, that's your identity. So when we ran our charts with our time of birth in this first house, that's our rising sign. So for Lucille, she is a Taurus rising. We're going to look at her chart a little bit later. But in that first house, that's yourself. This is one of the signs you should be watching on my YouTube videos for the horoscopes and stuff. You should really focus on your rising sign. if you know your time of birth, right? That's why knowing your time of birth is important, because then you can get your rising sign. And that's the first house. The first house is yourself, your identity, even your appearance, quite often, your attitude, right? Your first impressions. It's the self, number one. Then we get into the second house, which I love to look at people's charts of their second house, because that's the house of money. How you make money, how you value your values, what's important to you. It can also be a little bit about the work as well, and the environment. But most of all, it's kind of your income and your money. Um, then we get to the third house, which is a very communications house. It's your siblings. It's your how a lot about how you speak and how you learn, how you communicate. But there could be a lot about your neighborhood, your community, the social aspect of things in your immediate environment. And often it shows your siblings. And I know when we decipher, or when we decode Lucille and Juanita's chart later, we'll see how that third house could possibly play out, because there's a lot of stuff that belongs in the third house. It's almost like the junk drawer of the zodiac, where a lot of stuff goes in there. But mostly it is about your connections and your neighbors and how you talk and communicate. And then we get the fourth house. That's a very important one. That's a home and family. That's your real estate. That's your family. That's your emotional foundations. Quite often it explains where we grew up, like the kind of environment, like was it a farm or was it in a city? But a lot about your parents are in there, and your home and family. Then your fifth house is your kids quite often, but it's also your creativity, because we create children. That's a source of creation. We create entrepreneurship, business in there too. The fifth house is the fun house. It's your pleasure. It's your joy. What brings you joy? And we'll talk more about the fifth house. I really like that house. The sixth house is your health and your day-to-day routines. Um, Also a lot about how you work, how you do your work. But it's a lot of the health stuff goes in the sixth house as well. And it can be your pets. The fourth house can also be your pets, because it's home and family too. But the sixth house is often, how do you do your day? How's your day-to-day routine? How's your health and things like that? And the seventh house, this is sort of the partnerships, marriage, one-on-one relationships. We can look in the seventh house to see kind of who we're likely to marry or who we attract. It could be also your audience. If you have a business, who's your fans? How do they act or think? What's the personality of your audience, for example? What's the personality of your husband or wife? And it's a lot about the relationships and the one-on-one stuff. And contracts and commitments can come up here too. Then we get the eighth house. This is very intimate. This is your sexuality. This is how you do intimacy. This is also there's a very magical, with the eighth house, it's transformation quite often through metaphysics, like astrology or card reading or the esoteric spiritual knowledge in the eighth house. There's a lot of transformation and intimacy there, but it's a money house too. Like the second house was a money house. The eighth house would be your other money, your investment, your RRSPs, your 401ks, your inheritances, other people's money, we'll say. And your loans and debt can be in the eighth house as well. So there's a lot of deeper issues going on in the eighth house, transformation and shared finances. Then we get to the ninth house, one of my favorite houses. It's how you expand your horizons. It's like an adventure house. It's travel is located there. It's your belief systems. It's your religion. It's also the knowledge house. There's a lot of knowledge up there. If you had a lot of planets, for example, located in the ninth house, I could say that you are probably a philosopher or a teacher or a guide or something like that. There's spirituality in there too. Travel, study, Higher learning in the ninth house. And how do we change our belief systems? Well, we travel or we learn something from a book, a class, or something like that. So it's expanding your belief systems, your horizons in the ninth house. I really do like that house. Then we get our 10th house. That's our career, our public image, our achievements in life. There could be fame and success up there, but it's quite often for day to day, it's more like your career, how you do your career or how you make a mark in the world, your goals, things like that. Then it's the 11th house, which is your friends, your groups, your networks. It's a very social house there. It's society. It's the networks. It's the people you choose to be friends with. Often when I look at a person's 11th house, I can see who they attract as friends. How are their friends, right? But the 11th house is our social networks quite often, our community, and our goals for the future as well. And sometimes we can see money coming from the 10th house of career trickling into that 11th house as well. And then we get the 12th house, the hidden, the retreat, the rest. Sometimes if we have planets in there when we're born with certain planets in the 12th house, those traits are a little bit hidden in the 12th because the 12th is very inner knowing, spiritual. It's a healing house. There's endings there. Sometimes we need to make some of the planets that are in there shine and come out of the 12th house in some way. This is a place where, there's a lot of rest and retreat and spirituality. So we'll talk about that more. So these are the 12 houses. These are the life areas. So when we look, for example, let's look at me. This is part of my chart. See that first house of the self located on the 9 o'clock position on the clock? Well, this house, my first house, is in Cancer. So I'm a Cancer rising or a Cancer ascendant, same thing. But I also have my moon in there, so I'm kind of a double Cancer vibe with both my moon and the Cancer rising. Wow, I'm very Cancerian in a way. And so I could interpret this as I feel a lot what's in the air, the moods, the vibes, other people's energies. Cancer, the whole vibe of Cancer zodiac needs cozy mornings, good food, safe home base, right? And people come to me for comfort because I give off that mom friend vibe. And it's kind of true in my own community, in my own cul-de-sac. I get lots of kids in my house and kind of the mom, And so when life feels shaky, cleaning, cooking, caring for loved ones helps me reset. My feelings definitely show up on my face. So trust those feelings. They're my superpower, right? So I put a little write up of me, and you make your own story, right? That's what's fun about astrology. Like, look at the keywords it gave you, research a little bit about that. And this gives a lot about your personality. And we'll look at Juanita and Lucille's chart later to see a little bit about their personality. What's in their first house? What's going on, right? Okay, here's another example, the second house of money. I like looking at the second house. So right away I can see, okay, my second house is ruled by Leo. You see that the Leo rules it. So already I know my values, my money comes from a Leo persuasion. And we talked about Leo yesterday in day one. Leo wants to shine, get attention, has a little bit of confidence, might have some really great hair from the Leo lion's mane, right? And we talked a little bit about Leo. So for me, and then I have my Mars, which I'm passionate about the, maybe passionate about making money or passionate about my values. There's lots of action there. And so here you could say for Trina, second house of money, Mars in Leo retrograde. Okay, so the Mars planet action is in Leo and it's in retrograde. So let's talk about the Mars in Leo part. Making money by owning my creative power, Leo, and not chasing approval. I profit when I boldly sell what I'm proud of. Bold is because Leo is bold and Mars is bold. So there's a double bravery and courage. Confidence is my cash flow, you see? Now, the retrograde part, we're not going to talk too much about retrograde because that's more for a different, advanced sort of thing. But I'll just tell you because a lot of people are curious about what does it mean if my planet is in retrograde when I'm born. And you'll see that little RX. I don't know if you can see that well, but you'll see a little RX in retrograde.
Okay.
That means that it was sort of slowed down, kind of going backwards when I was born. So it's quite internal. Or it can mean that you won't get the stuff from it till later in life. It's a delay. So in this case, my retrograde Mars in the sign of Leo means that I might carry old patterns of having to dim my light or feeling unsafe about expressing my power. And this lifetime is about reclaiming that. And it's funny because when I was young, I used to see ghosts and be very psychic. And I was sort of told, don't tell anybody because we don't want to rock the boat, because I grew up in a religious environment, right? A religious community. And so I was sort of psychic stuff and all that was not meant to be shared with other people. That's a secret, right? And that could be why my Mars in Leo is retrograde when I was born. That's one of my lessons for learning how not to dim my light, right? Shining my power and feeling safe about expressing it. Okay. We got me here in my 7th house of relationships, partnerships. Remember the marriage house? Okay. So I could say that it's ruled by Capricorn. So I like when my husband let's say I like when my spouse is a Capricorn flavor, which is responsible, has structure. Remember we learned about Capricorn yesterday. There was like a CEO vibe, a leadership vibe with Capricorn. And there's a responsibility with Capricorn, and they're dependable and serious about their goals, for example. So my partner with my Mercury in there, that means because Mercury is a communicator, and Mercury was the learning guy. So I like my spouse to be intelligent with Mercury in there and be able to communicate in a structured way with the Capricorn flavor and having goals and stuff. And so if you think about the 7th house as your marketplace, your fans, your audience, your clients, well, my clients like having plans, a structured plan. They're responsible people, serious about goals. They probably like learning stuff. And that's why I'm a teacher, right? I used to be a power engineering teacher, and now I'm opening up my new academy soon, which is the Cards and Stars Academy, right? But I'm working on that right now. I'm not ready to launch quite yet, but right, that kind of vibe, right? Because Mercury loves to learn. So my clients love to learn, and my spouse probably loves to learn as well. But there's a Capricorn flavor too, which can be a little bit of Seinfeld humor, dry humor. So, that kind of vibe. And I do best when everyone agrees on a plan and sticks to it. And even in love, right? 7th house, even in love, I like teamwork and clear promises with that Capricorn vibe, right? Okay. Let's look at the 8th house, which is a transformational house. So it's ruled in my chart by Aquarius. So my 8th house of other people's, how my other money, for example. And Aquarius is freedom loving. We talked about yesterday. Aquarius has a lot of futuristic and technology vibes to it quite often as well. And astrology is related quite often to Aquarius as well. So in this 8th house of transformation, in this 8th house of my other money, I can see that my sun is in there next to my Venus. I have 2 major planets in the 8th house I was born with. So right away I could see, wow, that brings a lot of Aquarius flavor for one thing into my chart. So I do have a lot of Aquarius vibes. And it can mean, being intelligent, being independent, but the money, other people's money, 8th house, is often connected to like other people's resources. So like my partner's income, relying on my partner's income, right? Or relying on the government in some way, government programs, grants maybe, um, things like that, or shared investments. So the 8th house can be really good at because I have those 2 big planets in there, I could be a really good investor. And I would do like cryptocurrency, and I do like certain kinds of investments and stuff like that. But there's because the 8th house is quite often a money house too, but in a different way. It's your other money, not necessarily money from your income or a job. It's like, where do you get the other money? The 8th house can mean inheritances, and because my sun, which can be the father, and then my Venus, both, which can be money, right? Because we learned that yesterday about what these planets are. It could show me that I will likely be getting money as an inheritance. So if I was reading this chart, I would ask the person, do you think there's a possibility that you would gain an inheritance from someone, your parents or something like that? Because it shows up here in the chart, right? Your 8th house. So it's other people's money coming to you. And the 8th house is very mysterious, drawn to energy, healing, death. And it's funny because I used to work at the funeral home. It's also the house of metaphysics, astrology, card reading, intuitive stuff, spirituality, all that stuff, right? The unseen world, right? And I was born seeing ghosts, the unseen world, right? So the 8th house is quite intense and interesting, and there's a lot of like transformation there. And so you could say for Trina, your unique ideas help others to transform, turning crisis into growth. Okay, I have no planets in the 10th house, but it doesn't mean that I don't have a 10th house of career. It just means my career is ruled by Aries, you see? That Aries glyph. So my career vibe is bold, independent, self-driven. Could be owning your own business or being in front of like a leader, which in most of my jobs, I was sort of in a leadership or management position in some way. Aries, the leader, Aries being bold and courageous, and now I have my own business, so I'm taking on the entrepreneurial part of the pioneer part of Aries, which we learned yesterday. I lead, I don't follow. Success for me comes through taking action, Aries, and starting new things, Aries, which we learned about, the zodiac stuff yesterday, the clothes that they wear. Okay, so this, I wanted to say, okay, let's look at someone's chart. This is Juanita's chart. Now, she is a Pisces sun, so she was born a Pisces person. But if you look at her first house, and I don't know if I can zoom in. Oh yeah, I can. Cool. I can zoom in. Let's look at her first house. And that's on the 9 o'clock position of the wheel, right? The first house we just learned at. Let's look at her first house. We could learn a lot about Juanita just seeing that she is a Sagittarius rising. And Sagittarius, they love exploring and freedom loving, adventurer, and they're run by the fire element, and they're quite often have a spiritual flavor. And I was telling Juanita the other day that a lot of Sagittarians, for example, at Hay House, which is where we buy our tarot cards and our I don't know if you guys know Hay House, but lots of Hay House card guys like Radley Valentine, and there's a bunch of them, but they have a Sagittarius flavor too, and they love cards. They love Oracle cards. So that's kind of interesting. And then, so that's her rising sign. So now Juanita's gonna, when she watches my energy forecast, my horoscopes, she's not only gonna look at her Pisces now, she's also going to definitely watch her Sagittarius, because there's a lot of predictive value there. She, like, her right now, things for Sagittarius are going through their 12th house of the rest and retreat, and taking a step back. For if you're a Sagittarius person right now, this recording, which by the way is November 6, 2025, well, your Sagittarians are going through a rest and retreat and reviewing of what's next in their lives. So that's quite fascinating. Now, there's none of the planets we've been working with, the top 5, in her first house of self, but I'll just tell you quickly, she has Neptune in there, which looks like that fork. Okay, Neptune's very spiritual, and Neptune's very otherworldly. And it could also mean, because Neptune runs film, and it could be a good idea for you in your business, Juanita, to do more of the putting your face on camera and making like video stuff, right? Or uploading your recordings from your sessions on Zoom or something like that, right? There's Neptune, but Neptune's very spiritual, and you have a spiritual business, so not surprised there.
Yep.
You also have your North Node there, which we haven't talked about in this course, but that upside down, it looks like headphones. Okay, that's your North Node. That's where you're going in this lifetime. That's your North Star.
Okay.
And it's in your first house of self, meaning that you're really focusing a lot in this lifetime about yourself. When in your last lifetime, you were focusing a lot on everybody else, right? And this lifetime is more about me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so, and then if we looked, okay, well, how does Juanita make money in the easiest way? Well, her second house is run by Capricorn. So a structured, being a CEO, a leader, doing responsible, showing up, and building something. It's quite a builder's energy with Capricorn, and having a structure and plan. That's how you will do well making money. And Venus is in there too. So it looks like Venus is money quite often, and what we love. It looks to me like you don't have a huge problem making money with Venus in there. Venus brings you luck of money. And it also says, if you do what you love, Juanita, Venus, doing what we love. When you do what we love in a structured Capricorn way, right? That's how the money comes easy. Now, the third house next to it here, that's your siblings, I could say, and your community, your environment. It's run by Aquarius. You probably have unique brothers and sisters. Aquarius is a unique, futuristic, and you know all about Aquarius. We talked about that a lot yesterday. But you could your siblings could also be a little detached, because they're smart and they're often too much in the head, and but you have so there's that. And then you have Jupiter in there, and we didn't talk about Jupiter, but we will in some kind of future courses. But Jupiter brings you some expansion and some luck and some spirituality. I wouldn't be surprised if one of your siblings or your neighbors are like big astrologers, or into metaphysics as well, or into something about technology or programming. But you can communicate in the third house using Aquarius techniques. So you yourself, not just your siblings, but you yourself in your community, right? Having the third house is quite your community and your immediate neighborhood, and you can teach or learn through Zoom, futuristic ways. You might want to learn how to use AI in your business more. AI is very Aquarius. Stuff like that. Learning about technology can definitely help in your third house. And then real quick, your fourth house is your home and family, and your sun is in there. Like you were born with a sun and Mercury right in your fourth house. This is strong. Do you see? How
Oh
strong is
yeah.
that? Your home is important to you. Your family is important to you. And with that Pisces
Yes.
flavor, you grew up in a home that was compassionate. It looks like the sun was your dad. It could have been your dad was Pisces
Mm-hmm.
flavor. He could have been a musician, or he could have liked to escape through film, or he was very dreamy, spiritual himself, or he liked animals. Something with the Pisces that we learned about yesterday. So there's a lot about how you grew up there too, and how you like your home. So Pisces likes the
Yeah.
water. So I wonder, like,
Mm-hmm.
how close to the water are you?
I am, we have a lot of like lakes, waterfalls, and mountains. So, all of which I love. So, all within 20 minutes.
Wow, that's great. Yes, and you like
Yes.
your home probably to be spiritual. Your home is your
Yes.
place where you do card readings, maybe working from home with that
Mm-hmm.
sun in there,
Yep.
things like that. And then the fifth house is your fun house and your kids. So
Yes.
it's run by Aries. So you could say your children have kind of a brave, confident, pioneering leadership vibe with that Aries. Maybe that got them in
Oh,
trouble
yeah.
sometimes. Like, hey, 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 think before you do that, kid.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
have a
Well, my daughter's a world traveler, right?
no way.
So, yeah, she's in Thailand right now.
Oh, that is so neat. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
your moon's in
So,
there.
yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
your mom, because the moon can mean your mom.
Yep.
Your mom was fun in the fifth house, and she liked to be creative in the fifth house. She may have had her own business in the fifth house, and then with the Aries flavor, your mom was a kind of a leader too. Like, you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
so that looks cool. And then your
Yeah.
sixth house is your day to day and your health, and it's run by Taurus. So you need Taurus likes food. So it's like you need good food, healthy food, and a
Yeah.
secure. And then you can look deeper into Taurus. Like you could Google later, what does Taurus mean in my sixth house of health? And it'll list you some of the remedies for Taurus, flavored six
Mm-hmm.
houses, and things like that, which will have a lot to do with food as fuel, right? Healing foods and herbs. That's going to be a big thing for you in the sixth house. And even essential oils will be a big thing. But your day to
Mm-hmm.
day, and you have Mars in there. You're passionate about your work, what you do for work. You're passionate about
Mm-hmm.
um, b- you know, there's a little bit of a fight because Mars wants to go, 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 but Taurus says, whoa, let's slow down. So there's a kind of a little bit of a clash there, but you're really passionate about your work in the sixth house and passionate about being of service to others is the sixth house.
Mm-hmm.
So you like being a service to others. And then in the seventh house of your relationships, well, it's run by Gemini. So you work with your spouse as a communicator. You talk a lot. You have share ideas, smart, and probably your husband's a social butterfly at one point, at the party with the
Mm-hmm.
Gemini. And then your Saturn is in there, which we never talked about, but it shows Saturn is a responsible planet. So it shows like there's a responsibility with your spouse, and and then that south node I told you about is what you came from.
Mm-hmm.
So in your past lives, you were really a lot of concerned with other people, but in this lifetime, like we said, you're more concerned now, learning about more about yourself now, self knowledge and stuff. Your eighth house of other people's money and stuff like that. That is run by Cancer, which is very you need emotional stability in your other money and in transformation. You could sort of you're intuitive because having the eighth house run by a water sign, the eighth house is naturally a water. And remember, we talked about that being intuitive. And then
Mm-hmm.
Cancer's running your eighth house. So there's a lot of intuition there in the eighth house of transformation. But you help others transform through caring and nurturing those Cancer things, right? And your
Mm-hmm.
joint finances could have to do with your husband in some kind of real estate stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
Investments that are
Mm-hmm.
in real estate, because Cancer often runs like housing, like real estate and stuff like that. And then in your ninth house, it's run by Leo. So shining bright and being confident is good for you. Also, the ninth house could be a teaching, like you could be a really good teacher with that Leo energy, guiding and teaching others in the ninth house with Leo vibes, which is um, shining more brightly in public, right? So there's that.
Mm-hmm.
It can mean when you travel, you like to travel near the sun where it's hot, because Leo is ruled by the sun. So when you do go on trips, you like it warm, maybe, stuff like that. And then your 10th house of career is run by Virgo. And so you are definitely, that's another teacher vibe, by the way. And it's also very organized. And
Mm-hmm.
you like being of service to others, Virgo. So
Mm-hmm.
you're just really, there's a lot of emphasis I see on your chart that you're really emphasizing being of service to others. That's a big thing, but in an organized fashion.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the 11th house of your friends, well, you've got some unique friends. You have friends that, or you prefer to be around people with a Libra persuasion, right? And look, Lucille today, she's she's a Libra person, for example. But it's like Libra likes harmony and fairness. You like when the people that surround you are fair and diplomatic and speak with tact and are nice to each other. And yeah, and then those two planets, Pluto and Uranus, we're not really talking about today. We'll do that in a different course. But I just want to let you know, like the 11th house is, you like your friends and social networks to be Libra-ish, you know?
Yep.
And then the 12th house is your spirituality, very deep with Scorpio running it. Like Scorpio is running your
Mm-hmm.
12th house. That means like you go deep, and you would be very good at looking at dream interpretation. I see that with that, being a dream interpreter, or you know what else you could think about doing, adding is being a hypnotherapist. So there's that,
Ah.
or there's mediumship in there too, with Scorpio running your 12th house of the spiritual. Like it could be like you're a medium.
Mm-hmm.
So there's
Yeah.
Juanita. You see how that works?
Thank
Oh, and I want to say with
you.
Juanita, um, you have a huge triangle in the middle. What's that? That's a grand trine. That's pretty special. And
Yeah.
it's, in your case, it's an air trine. So the triangle is made up of air signs. We've got the Libra, we've got the Gemini, and then it's all pointing to your Aquarius, which are all air signs. So this is an air trine. And remember when we talked about air yesterday? Air was what?
Mm-hmm.
Remember, you tell me, Juanita, what do you remember from the air element?
Um, with the air, well, one of the things that I remember is that in my signs, or is that I lack air. Um, that was one of the things. The other with the air signs, the Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. I lost my train of thought.
The air for you is coming into
Yeah.
other planets that we haven't studied yet. That's why it feels like you lack air, but you actually don't. It's just because we
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
look at the other 5 planets, which are for a different day, because this is a beginner's course. So, see, you've
Yes.
got Uranus, Jupiter, and Saturn,
Mm-hmm.
and those are planets we haven't studied. So, that's why you thought that you were low on air. So, that's interesting. Good to
Yes.
know. But
Yeah.
technically, you are I'm looking at your chart right now, and when I look
Yep.
at all of the things, you are high on fire. Fire is your most, and that could be because of those
Yes.
Sagittarius placements and stuff. And then
Mm-hmm.
your next, actually, your next one is air. So it goes fire and air, and then earth and water are just just under that. So
Mm-hmm.
you do have a pretty good mix, by
I
the
do.
way, of elements. You do.
Yeah.
So that looks cool. Okay, let's do it.
It
Lucille, are you
does.
still there? Let's do Lucille's charts. This is fun. I think
Yes.
this is the best way to learn about the houses is by going through someone's chart like that all the way around the wheel. I do think that's the best way. So let's look at Lucille's chart. Okay, we'll zoom in on our first house, start the wheel. Okay, so she's a Taurus, first house, Taurus rising. Perfect. And so she likes Taurus stuff, which is the five senses, the yum yum factor. She likes taste, feel, smell. Like those are important of the body with Taurus. And Taurus is likes to have some structure and a routine, maybe. Taurus likes food as fuel and health through food, like we talked about for Juanita too, with that Taurus stuff in her sixth house. But for for um for Lucille, it could be uh slower vibe, enjoying smelling the roses. I want to say, like taking a moment to like, because Taurus is the bull when you look at the picture for it, and they don't like to move too fast, right? They're not the racehorse, right? Like they're slower and steady, and that's why I love Taurus. Um, for you, Lucille, because it shows me that you're very dependable and I can rely on you. And Taurus is ruled by Venus, so I know that you have some kind of beauty stuff you beautify. That could be through arts, that could be through flowers or gardening or something that brings beauty. We had to look deeper in the chart to see, more about that. But that's kind of the Taurus vibe. So study Taurus on the internet, okay? All the things about Taurus that you can learn, because you'll find out a lot. And that's your core self. So although you're a Libra sun, which we'll get to, but you'll want to look at your Taurus energy forecasts and horoscopes when you watch my stuff, because that's going to give you the most the predictive value. So Lucille's definitely going to watch her Taurus and her Libra forecasts. Okay. Now, I know we're not talking about Chiron. That's one of them other planets we're not talking about, but it's in there, and I want to mention it, Lucille, because Chiron is the wounded healer. There's wounds there about yourself and of your physical body sometimes. It could be like that you grew up with a less than feeling or confidence about your body or confidence about yourself, and that's what you're working on in this time with the Chiron in there, right? The wounded healer. So then we get into Lucille's second house. How does she make money? Okay, well, Gemini, that's a multitasker, and that's social. And so you do make money by being social, okay? By learning new things, and by multitasking, and by communications in some way. That's easiest path for you to make money. And you know, you'd be really good too at being in, I'm just thinking mixing Taurus vibes, which is the voice, and Gemini vibes, which is speech and broadcasting. You'd probably be really good on podcasts or on radio host, like being a show host or anything like that. I just wanted to add that in there. But Gemini likes to work with their hands too. So it could be that you make money through doing something with your hands. I'm just making up stuff here, but hair cutting, carpentry, playing guitar, right? So there could be that, or playing guitar and singing with the Taurus, because Taurus vibes. There's a lot of Taurus that are famous singers, by the way, Lucille. Who, top of my head, Adele, Willie Nelson. These are these big uh, profound, impactful singers, right? Legends, we call it legends. That's a Taurus vibe too. And so, the Gemini part could be communications and singing as well. So there's lots of things to look at there. Your third house, your siblings are Cancerian, right? The Cancer vibe. Your neighbors, the way you talk is with love, right? You speak with love with the third house. You think with love, nurturing, Cancerian, intuitive. You're very intuitive. Um, you know, the third house can also be about divination tools like using cards and mediumship and all that kind of stuff. So because Cancer is very intuitive, Lucille, you'll be very good at cards or um, casting rune stones or astrology or divination tools, right? Like that could be good for you too. It could show me that your brother or sister have a Cancerian profile. So you'd look up the Cancer, which there was like nurturing, could be clingy or overly protective, overdoing it in some ways. Could be good cooks, good nurturers, likes animals maybe, stuff like that, right? Does that kind of vibe with you, Lucille?
Yes, it does. Absolutely. I don't know how to put my face with you guys.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. I have it on share screen and I can't see anybody's face anyways. So it's okay. We'll figure that out after we stop the share, okay? Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Then we get into your fourth house of home and family run by Leo. So your home that you grew up in must have had performers, right?
Yes.
The house you grew up in. Leo loves to perform, be on stage.
Yes.
Does that sound like you at all?
Absolutely. We had a family band growing up. So
oh no. There we go.
Yes. So we performed a lot. Yeah.
Wow. And your North Node and part of Fortune, which is good luck. You got good luck in your fourth house. You'd be good in real estate too, or doing something with the real estate in some way. It could be like making real estate shine by taking really cool pictures and then they use it to sell houses, on like real estate websites and stuff. I'm just making up stuff here, but like home setting, like making the home set for the next buyer. I don't know. I'm just seeing a lot of real estate vibes with you, but definitely in this lifetime with that North Star there, looks like earphones. You're here to learn about the home and family and all sorts of experiences within that home that you not only grew up in, but the next homes that you've lived in. There's just a lot of lessons and energy about the home. It could be that you live with your family in some way too.
Yeah.
Do you live with a family member or something?
Yes, we are. I'm living with my brother right now.
Okay, perfect. So that would explain a lot about why your North Star and your good luck. There's good luck by being together with that part of Fortune. It looks like an X with a circle around. And I know we're not going to talk about that, but I just want to let you know that there is good luck for you there. And when everybody can shine and feel like anybody in that house, if they can feel like they are being acknowledged and shine, and they probably all of you guys probably want attention in some way. So doing the band thing together could be if you can bring back the band. Bring back the band. Yeah, that'll be good. I thought
of that. I have ideas in my head of the songs I'm gonna play with the kids, and it can be a new generation.
Oh my god, that's awesome. I love that. Speaking of generation, your fifth house is run by Virgo. So it could be that you have Virgo kids. That's getting pretty literal. Do you have a Virgo kid?
I do.
Okay, you can't make this stuff up. See? Astrology, right? So you do have a Virgo kid. It's funny because I have a Virgo kid too. But anyways, you are when you create things, you like to have them in containers, organized. Virgo looks to be very organized. It could be too your fifth house if you ever wanted to own your own business, which the fifth house can hold in there. If you ever want to have your own visit, it would be Virgo flavored, so health and wellness in some way. Virgo can also be a good teacher and stuff as well. So keep that in mind for the future. And then you have your Venus in there. So you get, you love Virgo topics, which is about being of service to others, which is about learning new things. You love to be of service to others and also organizing. Like, there's a lot, but it could be that because Venus doesn't super love being in Virgo and you're born that way. It's not your fault, but I'm just saying that Virgo wants to have structure, and then Venus wants to be all like, I just want it all. I want the goddess. I want the luxuries in life. I want this and that. But Virgo is like holding Venus in a little bit of a container. So sometimes you feel that you're not able to fully. It's almost like you feel guilty if you want something. You feel guilty from your desires. So I want you to let that go now that you know that and you've observed that. The fifth house is supposed to be the house of joy. So your joy can come from not over criticizing yourself anymore or anything like that. It's more about letting that part of the Virgo go, the over criticism, and even launching, like doing it dirty. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like you don't have to wait till everything's perfectly set Virgo style before doing the thing or getting the thing, and don't feel guilty about the things that you want. So that's something important. I think a lesson in that fifth house for you is. Now it also shows me that you have a love with Venus, what we love. You definitely have a love for your kids. Right? Like,
Yeah.
you love it. It can also mean that you in your life, having the Venus, what we love, you like to have fun. It's just, and you like to have joy. And it's just, the problem is the feeling of guilt that happens because Virgo energy is so like a virgin, wants to keep things clean and and so there can be guilt about having fun, right? And your desires. So something to. And then I wanted to say too with that Venus, because it can bring, because it's in your fifth house of luck, fifth house of joy, fifth house of kids, creativity, you having a Venus, which can bring in money in the fifth house of luck, shows me you have some gambling luck. Are you kind of lucky sometimes at gambling in small games of chance, for example?
I am. I just would say I'm lucky in general. Like there's many times in my life where I felt that was very lucky.
Well, Jupiter's in there too, and Jupiter brings you luck there too. So yeah. But yeah, you could find, I could say you're a good with the, I would say you could be a professional gambler. Not not saying you should do that, but I'm just saying you could be one of them poker players that does it as professional. And the reason I say that is because Virgo is as studious and analytical and precise and could card count and could like see patterns in gambling, right? And then the Venus, which brings you money, and Jupiter, which brings you money and luck in the fifth house of money and luck. Do you see how that can all combine together? Like I could see you becoming a professional gambler. That's funny. But also you could get luck by working, like whatever you create. If you're a creator, whatever that means, and to bring it out as a business, that could be good for you, Lucia. And then we get into your sixth house. This is your day-to-day life, your work, how you work, and quite often about your health. It's the systems in life, we'll call it the sixth house. And we have the sun in there, which we've studied. So you have a big, emphasis in this lifetime in your sixth house of serving others, having a good, smooth, Libra infused day-to-day life. You need your day-to-day life to be harmonious. You need it to be balanced, and you work a lot in a Libra way where you're a good diplomatic person. It's almost like you're the mediator between people quite often. It would be like your past jobs. You're the person that kind of people would go to talk to for help, or maybe you're at the party and I don't know, everybody like comes to Lucille for her opinion on something. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Mhm.
So there's that Libra flavor of diplomatic and harmonious, but you need your day-to-day life to be pretty with Libra. Libra is run by Venus too, just like Taurus is. So you have sort of this double feeling where you need things to be pretty and beautiful, and you see the beauty in life, you see the beauty in other people, and that kind of feeling too. And then with Libra, I think it rules the kidneys, but you'll want to look up stuff like that about Libra when it comes to health, because the sixth house is health. So you'll have Libra things come up in health. It could be, I think it's the kidneys for Libra. I'm not a medical astrologer though, and I can't remember everything, but you could look it up. What does Libra in
That
my
I know.
sixth house?
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, yeah, it's true that kidneys and urinary tract stuff, which is that's very true.
Yeah.
Very true. Yeah.
Interesting.
Hmm. I thought it was just because it was a Libra sun thing, but it's also because it's in my sixth house.
Yeah. Yeah. So it does affect your health quite a bit in your day-to-day work. You need your work environment to be healthy, and you need the people that you work with to be Libra, which are quieter and nice and tactful and harmonious, right? So I wanted to say you have a lot of air in your chart of when I add up all the things, quite a bit of air. So you're very good at communicating and social. That'll always help you in life. And just to trust. I just think with that Chiron in your first house, the wounded healer, there might be a problem, Lucille, about you want people to like you. And that's something that we're going to want to let go. The people that like you are the ones that are meant to like you. We're not everyone's cup of tea, but we're someone's caramel macchiato, just like you're my caramel macchiato, Lucille. Okay. Okay. And then you have Mercury in your seventh house, like I do, meaning that, okay, like right away I can see let's say your partner is probably intelligent or communicator in some way with the Mercury, or if you own your own business, the people who buy from you or whatever, they're like that too. And communication is important to you with the Mercury in there. Now, the thing is that your seventh house is run by Scorpio. So these people are pretty deep, detective, intelligent, and determined. And so think about your past boyfriends or husbands or whatever. Were they kind of like deep?
Yes, absolutely. It was like about the person that I could have intellectual conversations with. Like digging deeper. That's intelligence. I like tact. Yeah, like sort of, and yes, I do. Having that is very important. Like I need to be able to really talk to this person about intelligent stuff.
Right. I wouldn't be surprised too if the person, let's see, are you married right now?
No.
Well, let's say you were gonna get a husband or whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if that husband had Scorpio tendencies of being a detective or seeing real deep into things. CSI stuff. Do you like CSI stuff?
Yep.
Yeah. Solving mysteries?
But yes, I do. Yes, I do. But I like more of like psychological stuff. It's
Yeah.
not like this.
Scorpio is very psychological.
Okay. Yeah, it's more about. I mean, like my favorite show for a long time. Well, I have the DVDs, haha. But because
Yeah.
The Mentalist.
I love The Mentalist. Oh, that is so
Wow.
cool.
And then
See,
I
and
would
I
always,
love The Mentalist, and I'm one of your close buddies, right? And
yeah.
so you'll see like some of those Scorpio traits come out in your buddies, your close besties and stuff. So that's interesting too.
Yeah, it
Okay,
is.
and then your eighth house. Well, you've got this is the eighth house is a hard one to sort of unpack. Eighth house of transformation. There's a passion with you see how you've got that Mars that we talked about in there. So you're passionate about eighth house matters, which it could mean card reading, the intuitive stuff, all that mysteries of the world too. Eighth house. It can mean that you have a lot of passion towards that, and it can. Let me just see here. It's run by Sagittarius, so your eighth house is run by Sagittarius. So your other money could come through Sagittarius things like maybe when you go travel, for example. And then I see Neptune's in there too, which is spiritual, and Sagittarius is quite spiritual. I feel like there's a lot of spirituality in you and stuff to unpack, Lucille. Like like I feel like you're kind of interested in this astrology that we've been doing, right? Like it's been working out good for you, right? Day one yesterday and now day two, like you're really learning a lot. Is that right?
Yes, and I'm so excited for
Excited
it.
about it. And that's the Mars. It makes you excited and passionate about this stuff. And eighth house does hold a lot of that stuff in there. And then the Neptune in there too, which is spiritual and stuff. But yeah, another thing I could say is that you have ways to make money, your other money through Sagittarius means, like that could be being a teacher, Sagittarius, like being a guide in some way, being a spiritual guide eventually, and things like that. So there's a lot of interesting there too. Another thing too is the eighth house, which I forgot to mention. It's joint finances, sure, but it can also mean after you get married, the life with the husband or wife after you get married in the eighth house. So it could show me that you guys would have a common bond about traveling together, Sagittarius, learning about new things together, Sagittarius, right? And exploring and going on adventures together. I forgot to mention that with Juanita. So with Juanita's eighth house, after you get married, it's a cancer for her, cancer flavor. So that's being nurturing, cooking good food at home, doing real estate together, maybe hosting a bed and breakfast together, stuff like that in the eighth house too, which I notice a lot of astrologers don't talk about, but I think that's important. Okay, next for Lucille, we're going to zone in on her ninth house of expanding your horizons and travel and stuff like that. And it's run by Capricorn. So I feel like when you're learning, there's a Capricorn flavor of you got to build it to learn it. When you're actually doing the thing, it sticks in your mind and it stays there. You learn best by tactile feel, Capricorn, because ninth house can often mean like how we learn in like, when we went to school, for example, and when we went to university. You like a nice structured environment in the learning, and then you could think about it too. Travel, you might like it, Lucia, to travel where there's a Capricorn vibe, it could be like going on a trip to the mountains, like Banff or Jasper could be really nice for you and your family or yourself or whatever, things like that, Capricorn. But the ninth house is about expanding your horizons in some way, and Capricorn likes to build, and Capricorn likes to have structure. And your midheaven is in there too, which we didn't talk about, but midheaven is sort of your career as well. It could be building and creating a legacy, and just there's a lot to unpack on that. But then we look at the 10th house of career. Your moon is in there. So I could say, let's just talk about the moon for a sec, because that could mean your mom. Your mom could have had Aquarius tendencies. First of all, I want to just unpack that for a sec. Aquarians are a little detached. They're not super cuddly. And because the 10th house is career, it could have been that your mom just worked a lot, maybe, or did her career a lot, and maybe you guys didn't get enough, I don't know, mommy time or something like that. What could you say about your mom, for example?
Well, she's an Aquarius sun.
What? So crazy.
And yes, detached. She was at home with us, but it was about the tasks she was doing, and also with a high level of intellect. Mm-hmm. She was often in her head and not with us. Like, I mean,
I get it. Yeah. That makes sense. As you're, because how you do relationships in the 7th house, so it's very Scorpio. You like deep. You want deep. Let's go deeper. But mom, you're being too superficial. You're too up there. We want deep, right?
Well,
we want
deeper connection. I wanted closeness, and then when I had my daughter, I was just like, my daughter's never gonna feel, because I felt this loneliness. So I was like, that's what I focused on, that it wasn't about like the meal being perfect. It's about the cuddles, and it's about like the intimate conversations and the getting to know her.
Wow, that is fascinating. Now your 10th house of career is ruled by Aquarius. Okay, this can mean, because Aquarius has a very friendly humanitarian vibe and likes to raise humanity in some way with something innovative. So it could be that you become part of a movement, an activist group, or something within groups in general that can be very, and you have the moon in there, which is your internal feel. You like you yourself have an Aquarius vibe on how you do emotions. So it could be that your career's involved a lot of people and groups, and I could see you cheering for the underdog quite a bit.
That's who I'm always about. Yeah, I can't help it.
Mm-hmm. That's perfect. And then your 11th house of the people, you have a lot of friends with Pisces flavor. Juanita, she's a Pisces. She's spiritual. She likes cards. And Pisces, by the way, loves quite often music or art. So you probably have friends that are like in musician, or these are the types of networks that'll make you super happy if they have the Pisces flavor, which compassion for others, spiritual, and intuitive with the water, Pisces water. And your the 11th house can be your hopes and dreams too. So it's like maybe you hope to become a better musician. Maybe you hope to become a better card reader. Maybe you hope to become, more spiritual and learn more about compassion and things like that too. So that looks interesting. And then your 12th house of the unseen, you don't have any planets in there, so that's kind of a good thing in a way, because it just like there's nothing that's being hidden necessarily, which is good. And then your spirituality of you is run by Aries, like trying new things when it comes to spiritual stuff, maybe. I mean, it could be too that you I'm getting the idea that your sleep, because 12th house can be about your sleep patterns, and Aries is hot and fiery, and it could be like you get too hot at night even, or you get headaches or something like that in the 12th house. Can sometimes happen as you get older. And I don't know if you've hit perimenopause yet. I'm starting perimenopause right now, but it's like the hot flashes, for example, that when we get older, like when you get older, that could be really become a thing. The hot flashes causing you headaches or whatever, especially in the bed, like when you're trying to sleep. So just something to keep in mind. But the 12th house can also be your dreams, and maybe you get a lot of vivid dreams with that Aries running your 12th house, because Aries is hot, fiery, pioneering, leadership. Like you may get a lot of dreams. I would suggest as soon as you wake up to journal them. If you do, yeah. So there we go. There's a little bit of interpretation using kind of everything we learned yesterday. It's a great job. You can now create mini readings for your family and friends. Yay! So that's good. And you can come see me at themoontree.org too. Okay, so I'm going to stop the share. There we are. Hi, everyone. Hi, girls.
Hello.
What did we think about that? Was it fascinating?
All of it.
It's so fun. I love astrology because it's complicated, but it's not when you just do little by little. But see how much you can already do, like, to really learn about someone. Now, you'll be able to communicate better with your child, and
Yes.
you can make anybody do what you want them to do. Like your husband, you just got to come about it the right way, for example.
Uh-huh.